Hey, you guys, it is Friday, June 18th. It is 11:11, and now it's 11:12 because that's how fast a minute goes by. Minute by minute by minute by minute, I keep holding on. Except I'm letting go. No more holding on. Throw it away, throw it away. Lily and Pearl, I gotta see if we're here. I don't even know what I'm doing, where I do. I totally know what I'm doing. It's all part of the plan. And we are here, we are live, and I'm gonna edit the privacy, and it is at public, and that is done. And there's one of you here. Hi, one of you, whoever you are. Jenna Mammina! I love you, Jenna Mammina. Fingers, arms, legs, hair braided. I'm talking about Jazz Fest. Jenna. It might happen. It's going to happen. I'm not even going to say it might. It is going to happen. I am going to be singing at the International House, and you will be there, and we will be hanging out, and it's going to be a blast. Right? Hey, Mama Grace, Patty Lohman, William Lindeman. William, you are just the bomb. I saw that you called the other night, but I don't know when you called, and I'm sorry I missed it. So what's going on? Who's doing what? Tonight is display and share. But I already have the display and share all figured out for the night. Sorry. Yes! I know, right? So, do it with me, everybody. All right arm under the left, and then switch around, and then cross your legs at the same time, and your fingers, and say, New Orleans Jazz Festival at Loa Hotel. New Orleans Jazz Festival at Loa Hotel. Second and third weekend in October, right before Jenna's birthday, we'll all go to New Orleans. And you'll meet Chef Gina, and you'll meet Chef Gina. Because Chef Gina's my NOLA girl. You need to come back on the show, please, when you're not busy and doing all the things you're doing. I watch you. So, yes, it is Friday night. I didn't get paid, but that's a whole other thing that can happen. In fact, I will just post that right now. Someone asked me that today. Do you let people know that they can tip you on your show? And I say, sometimes, and sometimes I don't. But, if you feel it, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. That's right. That is right. Ellen, if you're here, hey, what's up? Porch is in the house. Michael Peltz Pop-Up Porch Productions tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. California time. I will be on the porch with Robin Lewis and what's this guy's name? Glenn Appel on trumpet and harmonica, and he's got all these mutes and he does all this cool stuff, and Robin plays 7-string guitar, and it's going to be super cool. So I'm really excited about that. That's happening tomorrow afternoon. And then, but tomorrow morning, one more Saturday morning with Jeff Metzger. Tomorrow night, Gary Lambert. Sunday morning, I don't know. Sunday night, Musician Square Table. I don't know. Monday morning, Meandering. Maybe Patty's going to give us a tour of the house. Patty. And then Monday night, meditation. And then Tuesday morning and Tuesday night, Dr. Andrew Rader. Wednesday morning, baking with Patty. Wednesday night, cooking with Shauna. Thursday morning, Thursday night, conversations with the creatives. And guess who the conversations with the creatives person is going to be? Lisa F. Mammina. Lisa F. Mammina. Thursday, conversations with the creatives. That's all I'm saying. Friday morning, Armando Ortega, and Friday night. That's already a week away. So tonight, roll it all back, Jenna. And let's introduce our guest for the night. Ladies and gentlemen, my display and share for the evening is Blue Coast founder, producer, creator extraordinaire, oboe player, and tiara wearer, Cookie Marenco. Hi,
Jenna. Cheers.
Cookie. Uh-oh.
Oh,
We're having a little, hold on. Can you hear me?
yeah. Can you hear me?
I don't know how I paused that so quickly. That worked. Cheers. I have a blue glass. You have a blue glass. But what are we toasting?
The release of your album called Mutineer worldwide on 240 streaming and download services worldwide.
What?
240 streaming services worldwide.
Really?
Today.
Hi, Don. Don's here. Miles' dad, Don, is here. Hi, Don. Have you met?
I don't think so.
Don, meet Cookie. Cookie, Don, Cookie. 240?
Maybe 250. They keep adding.
What does that mean? What does that mean exactly? Is that like, what does that mean? Because I have no idea what that means.
You know, there's a lot of stations that we've never heard of. There's stations in Russia, in China, mainland China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, Thailand, Australia. There's all over Europe, Africa, and South America.
Really?
Yeah, so everywhere. The big ones are Spotify and Apple, but there's other places.
So they're not internet radio stations.
No, these are streaming services like Spotify. Qobuz is another one, and Tidal is another one. And what happens is it's very difficult for a streaming company to actually access the entire world. And even Spotify doesn't access all the countries. You have to get licensing deals with each country before you can launch. So Qobuz, for instance, has the United States, and now it has Canada, and it's got Australia, but it's
Canada.
in France.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then, but the distribution is through E1,
Right.
correct?
It's E1.
And E1 is what?
E1 is an entertainment company that when we first signed with them, specialized mostly in film. Like 2/3 of the business really comes from their film and video. They had a movie called The Green Book that won an Academy Award. Yeah.
Sebastian Maniscalco is in that movie.
Yeah, and then a very small part was their music company. So during the time that we had been engaging with them to do this deal, they were interested in high definition audio and what we were doing. They got bought out by Hasbro. So everybody thought, what is a toy company? Exactly. What is a toy company doing with a film and music division? And well, within about 4 months, Hasbro sold the music part of the business to a private equity company, which is what people do. You know, when you have $1 billion company nowadays, they consolidate, and it's a little bit scary because the only people making money are those big companies at the top who continue to sell. So sadly, us at the bottom who are actually making the music, it still just kind of dribbles down.
I'm going to post about us on Instagram right now.
Okay.
So What does that mean? So E1 is this company that has connections to these 240 plus streaming sites.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's basically it. And on the inside, there's, I think, 6 different representatives who actually work directly with some of the bigger streaming services. So hopefully we'll get more attention. Remember the swipe ups that you were doing for us? They'll probably, if they're not posted now, they might post in the next few days, and they'll be over at Amazon. So those kind of things.
Should I make more?
What?
Should I make more?
That's a good question. I'm just learning all these systems myself. I would say, let's see what happens with this one. And then you did some for Pandora. And what happens is E1 has all these interesting opportunities that we never see. So we're hoping that, at a certain point, we'll be more recognized by the consumer end, the Spotifys and the Apples of the world. Well, they'll start featuring us a little bit more. It's just, supposedly it's easier if you go through a bigger distributor.
So this is a whole other, I'm doing this right now. I'm posting on Instagram, Blue Coast Records, Cookie Marenco. What else should I hashtag? E1?
Oh, I don't, sure.
Is it E1, E-O-N-E?
It's E-O-N-E, yes, and it's a small e, capital O-N-E is their branding.
Music.
What about, you want to hashtag Cobuzz?
Yeah.
Those guys are good. And Tidal is
Tidal. Quoubuz.
Yeah.
Cobuzz. Matt Rawlings.
Yeah.
Matt Rawlings piano. Oh, Matt Rawlings music.
And Matt just released an album about 18 months ago, and it went through E1.
Really?
Yeah. He has a deal with a label called Dual Tone, and they E1 actually bought Dual Tone. And
any other words for hashtag kombucha? What are you drinking, Cook? I'm drinking kombucha, blueberries, and tequila.
I'm drinking Synergy raw kombucha.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, passionberry bliss. Pour it into my glass with my homemade peach vodka and some of my blueberries.
I'm drinking Health Aid kombucha, my live stream, and Meyer lemons.
That's a good combo.
Well, blueberries, I just hashtagged my live stream, and then blueberries. This is what you, welcome to the music business. This is what you do. Hashtag blueberries and kombucha, tequila. T-E-Q-U. What kind of tequila is this? Tres Agave tequila. Now, I kind of remember the peaches from an early Tres Agave tequila. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I Instagrammed that shit. Oops, I said shit. Sorry. Now, may I ask you a question really quickly? Is it okay if Patty Lohman shares this to the Blue Coast group?
Yes, this is good.
Share it, Patty. Patty's here. Patty has been a dedicated 11-11er, as well as so many people that are here right now. Mama Grace. There are 12 people here right now. Stacy Barrett is here. Melanie DeMoore is here. Melanie DeMoore.
Stacy, Stacy did the first recording that I ever did. First time I ever went into the recording studio
What?
with Stacy.
What?
Yeah. And then we lost touch for about 30 years and ran into each other on Facebook.
And now here on Facebook on
How do you know?
11.
Yeah. How do you know Stacy?
I think the last time you were on the show, Stacy watched the show and then has become an 11-11er.
Oh, great. Yeah. I learned a lot those first sessions.
So tell us where you are right now. Like, what's the view? What are we looking at behind you? Is that a garden of some sort?
Well, this is the good part of my house. It's about the only part of my house that's good. The rest of it is piled up with boxes and all kinds of stuff. So you don't get to see that. And so back here is my part of my Christmas display still left up. And then out there are the hills of Belmont, San Carlos, overlooking the bay over there, and Moffett Field, and Google, and all those places. And those are my cactus plants, my little hummingbird plant.
Are you a hummingbird whisperer?
Yeah. Oh, it's great. They love, I don't know what this plant is, but they love it. They come in and they just kind of hang out. I think they probably get drunk on it. It's my suspicion.
And it's still really light where you are. It's 8:11. We're in California. What did you have for lunch today?
It was, those little matzo ball, or not, mozzarella.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did, the mozzarella, tomato, and basil thing with olive oil.
And that's it? No pirate booty or anything?
No. It was so hot. Was it hot where you were?
I was in El Cerrito, and there's always a nice breeze in El Cerrito. Always.
Really?
Carl's late. Carl, you got to check. Did you check out the version of After the Gold Rush I did with the guitarist Carl Hess?
No. Send me a link.
Cookie. Hey, Carl, can you post the link to After the Gold Rush? Post it. I was going to ask you something really important right there, and now I don't remember. So the record, 240 places around the world. How do people access the album now? I mean, I know there are a couple of people that want CDs, so we'll make that happen.
Yeah.
You'll actually hand make CDs.
And we have the 24 karat gold CDs available now if somebody wants to buy it directly from us. But Jenna, we're going to give you some to sell. So when you have your gigs, you'll be able to sell Mutineer or any of your albums. They're all great. Everyone should have.
What about the James Taylor record?
The one we did with John.
Yeah.
Who's going to... Wait a minute. What's the name of that one? Jesus, Jenna!
It's called,
Okay, there's
by James Taylor and other songwriters that he was influenced by.
Yes, that's a nice word for it. Let's see.
He was persuaded by. He said song and songs sung by people he said yes to. No.
There you go. Let's see.
But I think we could still add to that.
Oh, Moonlight Ladies.
Moonlight Ladies. That's what it's called. Right. I forgot. Moonlight Ladies.
Yes. That's a little bit of the lyric from the James Taylor song. That's where we came up with it. That's, your best-selling album.
Really?
Yeah. It's now gone beyond Close Your Eyes.
how did you pick? Wait. Way down here. Can you hear that? You
Yeah.
need a reason to move. Feel a fool. Running your stateside games. Lose your load. Leave your mind behind, baby. I like this one because I love John R's solo. It sounds so simple, I just got to go. The sun's so hot,
Great,
I forgot
great
to go home.
performance from both of you.
Guess I'll have to go now. Okay, so back to Mutineer. How did you choose that record to be a part of the E1 family?
Well, you know, over the years, before John Arbor, there was Matt Rawlings, and Matt had come to play on your first album here, and then over the years, if he was in town, you'd bring him in to do just a couple of songs. And I don't quite remember the progression of it all, because I think we recorded those songs over about a 10-year period of time. And so we just had them, and a few of them would end up, you know, that some of them, like You Can Close Your Eyes, just was an unbelievable performance. And I remember you had invited him in to come and do a few songs. And I think that was the session you did G Baby.
That was the Close Your Eyes was on Meant to Be.
Right, but I don't think it was that version.
Oh, is it a different version, Cookie?
It's a different version.
Is it really?
Because you know what happened was you and Matt were playing. And, well, okay, I'm going to tell the true story. So, Jenna, you nail it nearly every time. I mean, you're so on it. It's really kind of amazing. You can put most instrumentalists to shame at how fast you learn and give your all in every performance. But it's got to be right. And I remember the first take was a little fast, and it just wasn't right. So I said, okay, play it again. And the second take was okay, but it wasn't right. It was just a little bit too fast. And I could hear it in your voice. You couldn't quite get your breath. And I remember Matt was kind of done. He didn't want to do the song again. So I thought, oh man, this is going to take some of my best producing skills ever. So we stopped the session, went outside and talked a little bit.
I remember stopping the session, and Matt and I were sitting on the picnic table.
Yeah. I said, oh, would you do it one more time, just a tad slower? And he said, okay. Because up to that point, it wasn't going to happen. So he did it again. And Jenna, we were in the control room crying. I think your brother was there.
He was. Nino. We
were all just sobbing. And when you're crying, you know that's the take. So that's the take. And that song has ended up on a lot of albums because we really didn't have a whole album's worth of material to put out. So at the time, it predated all the download companies, and I don't know what we had able to reach, but still people were mostly making albums at that time, and we just didn't have enough music. So I think we got 3 or 4 songs that day. And then
Nino's record also.
Yeah, we were doing, there was a lot of recording going on that day.
Paul McCandless was there.
Not at that session, but he was on Meant to Be.
No, but he was on that. Well, oh, didn't he play on Nino's record too? No, he played on Nino. No, Ron Stallings. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So then anyway, a few years later, there had been this kind of accumulation of 1 or 2 songs here and there over the years that I don't even remember how we got them. If it just said, hey, why don't you two just go play something? And we just kept it in the back for a while.
So what about the other James Taylor record, the other James Taylor recording? I told the story the other night, but I want to hear your version.
Well, I wanted to just finish up with the audiophile show that we did. Matt had come out to do a solo piano recording, and then we invited the audiophiles to come out and asked if they wanted to participate. So while you and Matt were rehearsing before they showed up, we recorded a whole bunch of songs. And then about 25 people came, and half that album is from that concert where they're quietly sitting in the back. And they had an opportunity to really see what it takes for two performers to work together without headphones, without overdubs. You guys just had to get it right. And we would do one or two takes of things. And I think we released the best of those. And then I remember last year you kept saying to me, Cookie, I know there's a Leonard Cohen song in there, and there's another Warren Zevon song. And I'm thinking, man, we had to like dig it up from the trenches of the drives, and we found it. And we had to do just a little bit of here and there mixing and matching. But you were right. They were there. They were great. So we thought, we've got 10 songs. Let's make an album. Let's put all of these together and document the work that you did with Matt, which is just, it's the two of you together is amazing. And John is he's a different player. So you guys came in to do a James Taylor record, and kind of in a similar fashion. We didn't get 10 songs. I don't remember. We usually get like between 4 and 6 songs in a session.
Then we went back in.
Right.
And did the other ones.
Right.
But the original, the day that we started with Matt and you and Patrick were in the studio, we were doing, we were sound checking.
Yeah.
You were sound checking on Another Gray Morning. You said, why don't you guys, you tell it. Do you remember?
Well, I liked you. I actually didn't remember because I always go into record. So I probably said something like, hey, why don't you guys just warm up for a little bit? And I after a while, you get a sense if somebody's a 1 or a 2 take person. And Matt is kind of a first take person. So when you don't get it on the first take, right, you probably, you might as well go to the next song, which is why.
I'm the same way. If I don't get it right, I move on and then come back if I have to. But
yeah, and a lot of people are like that. It's just you put everything, you're all into that first take. And you get so far, and then if you make one little mistake that's just, you can't live with it, it makes it hard. So anyway, I guess I was rolling because I was afraid that you guys might, get the take. And you did. So I was glad that version, there's been times on Another Gray Morning where I've been driving in my car and that song will come on, and I'll just have to pull over and cry because if you start really listening to the story and how it's told. And I remember one day I had a completely different take on the story that I never really grasped before. And the way you told it was so moving, and the interaction between you and Matt and the dynamics that moved together. Yeah, I just had to pull over to the side of the road and cry.
Thank you.
Well, that's part of the fun of working with you. It's like, have that hanky out.
And then we can laugh.
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. Oh boy, the shoes. Remember the shoes? Remember,
I have the shoes.
I know.
Andre put on the shoes.
Play Like a Girl. We made him come in and do a solo. And
Blueberries.
it was very, very funny.
Am I dreaming, or I think there's something, didn't, did Matt and I do Mill Worker?
What was the song?
Did Matt and I record Mill Worker? Mill work ain't easy. Mill work ain't hard.
I don't remember that one.
Okay, then John and I need to do that.
Yeah. We need to get you and John back in here.
He's going to Maui next week. Or no. Kauai next week.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Giants will win a string of games.
So Cookie's a Giants fan, in case you're wondering. She's a Warriors fan. That's why she's got her Blue Coast. How did you come up with the name Blue Coast?
Oh, well, originally it was called Red Sky Records because I would look out at a red sky. And then when I started doing the research for about the first 2 years, from 2002 to 2004, and everybody loved the name. Well, it turns out that name was already owned by a heavy metal record company. Later, I, by accident, had become friends with the fellow who owned the label. And when he found out that that was what I wanted, he was willing to sell me the name. But I said, it's too late. But then when I needed to come up with a new name, I remember just driving around and just being on San Gregorio Beach and looking out and saying, Blue Coast. And a lot of people fought me at the time because they said coasts aren't blue. But nobody had the name. It's interesting because now there's a lot of Blue Coast this or that, Blue Coast Management, Blue Coast Burrito, Blue Coast this or that.
Blue Coast Burrito?
Yeah, in Nashville.
Nashville, well, that's where Matt. Maybe we need to do a gig at Blue Coast Burrito.
Well, it's funny because I got to know them in the early days of the label. We were actually going to try to give them some, but they wanted something a little more upbeat. They weren't quite ready for our acoustic music live in the studio.
So how do people get this particular record if they're download people?
Well, we have a store called bluecoastmusic.com, and you can buy all the Blue Coast recordings in high resolution in the DSD format that we record in.
But do people have to have like certain sound systems in order to appreciate that?
Well, for DSD, yes, but we also sell what are called WAV and FLAC files. We don't sell the MP3s, but you can get the MP3s at Apple, or you can stream in high resolution at Amazon and Qobuz. You can stream at Apple. So nowadays everything's changed. So actually downloads are not really the most favored way to listen to music. More people are streaming.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but
more people are, and explain so I don't know the difference between streaming and downloads.
Okay. So
Tidal, yes, Tidal has it.
Yeah. Right. Tidal is streaming. So you would go onto the site, okay, or YouTube is streaming. Spotify is streaming, and you go there.
And downloads people can pay for, but streaming is free. Yes?
Well, kind of. I mean, in theory, we get paid per stream, but I mean, 0.000175 on a good day, and then it just, the more music is, the smaller that little section goes to. So it's really about promotion and publicity. So to support an artist, the best thing to do is download a song at the old iTunes or Apple Music, or Qobuz. You can download HD I'm not sure. I think at Amazon you can download also. And then you would store the download on your computer. And you can download MP3s. And you can, with Qobuz, you can download the higher resolution files also. So then you own the music. It's a little bit closer to like buying a CD or buying vinyl, where you buy the whole album. And so you can buy the whole download of the album also.
Could we actually, what would it take to mix and master that? Because you mix and master it a particular way for DSD, correct?
Right. We record to DSD. We also, some of the early things we did with Matt, we recorded to tape. So, and then I would mix through the board and over to DSD, which is a digital format. And the files are huge, just so everybody knows, like the biggest DSD files, which are called DSD 256, an album is 10 gigabytes on average. 10 gigabytes is about 10 times the size of a CD WAV files. So it's big.
My friend William just said, I have an $80 Sony Blu-ray player that plays DSD files and SACD discs.
Oh, yeah. That's great. SACD was a format that Sony came out with. It's a disc. And will be interesting to see how he plays DSD from the Blu-ray, unless it is an SACD. But it's kind of complicated how all this stuff works.
Cookie, how long have you been in the music business?
Well, does that mean my first paying gig as a musician?
Where are your first paying gig?
I think I was 12.
You don't have to say you were 12.
Right. Because I was playing the oboe and I would get gigs. But I started teaching piano when I was 14. And then at that point, I never looked back.
When did you start in the engineering production?
Well, I opened the studio in 1982.
Wow.
January 1st, 1982. So I'm coming up to 40 years of having a studio. Yeah, crazy.
Crazy. I want to introduce someone to you. I can't remember if you've met, but one of your biggest fans, and I met him because of you. And he and his wife Carol and their daughter Stephanie have been on the show. He actually messaged me on my fan page months ago during the pandemic, and I'm going to introduce him now, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Morocco.
Cheers.
Hey, Mr. Morocco.
Hey, ladies. Bow down to the ladies of music here. And I don't have a cute glass. I was going to get a Canadian beer to bring to the thing, but
You look like is that a blue shirt or is that green?
it's blue. Does it look green?
You got a Blue Coast shirt on. You're cool.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Enough. Yeah, I was going to, like I say, with Cookie, and when she's talking about some of the different file types and stuff, and Sony is behind DSD because I have a Sony Hep C1 player that also decodes DSD and a few other things like Lumen when I'm doing the streaming. So, but But I'm glad Cookie's not talking about cables. I think she'll know what I'm talking about when it comes to that.
Oh, don't get me started. I mean, those people that can't hear the difference in a cable, I'm sorry. They all I got to do is come put on I got $100 set of headphones. If they can't hear the difference, they shouldn't even be called an audiophile. But okay, whatever.
Does a gold cable really make a difference, Cookie?
Yeah, it does. I'm not particularly fond of gold cables, actually, and I think this is one of the things people forget about is it does. You can pay a lot of money for a gold cable. Whether it sounds good in your personal system, it may not. It really depends on the entire chain. But if we're talking about whether cables are different from each other sonically, that's true. Whether something's better than something else really depends on somebody's system. You know, I learned the hard way many times about cable. I had a tech that for a long time, you know, with the studio, I can't tell you how much money we've got invested in cable throughout. And when I rebuilt the studio about 20 years ago, everything had been what's called Belden cable. And, you know, it's pretty standard, mediocre cable. And I remember my tech said, you know, you're spending $40,000 on having me wire this. For another $1,000, you can move it up to Mogami. He said, but my tech said this to me. He said, I don't think it'll make much difference. And I said, you know, for $1,000, if I'm going to spend $40,000 to wire it, let's just put in the Mogami. I had clients come in who hadn't been in the studio for months, who immediately heard the difference just from changing this cable. Now, and I think the other thing that the audiophiles forget is that the way we work, we have hundreds of cables in a session that come out of a 2-channel mix. So we're not just dealing with the difference between two cables. We're dealing with changing out hundreds of cables. So a small difference, a small improvement can be huge across, you know, a 48-channel board. So that was my first learning lesson. And then, Jenna, did you met Jean-Claude or
Sure.
no? Yeah. So Jean-Claude Renaud, his father was Jean-Marie Renaud, who had an audiophile speaker company in France. And Jean helped me design the recording methods that we used for Blue Coast, and it was called Extended Sound Environment. So in this process, he really wanted me to swap out for his father's speaker cable. And I said, no, I don't even want to hear it, because if I like it, I'm going to swap out everything. So I said, no, do not put that cable in. Well, you know what happened. So he puts the cable in. I hear it immediately. I have to buy 300 feet of this cable. I make, you know, we did really, I didn't want to, but when you hear something that sounds that much better, and even in every aspect, from the XLR, the mic chain that we use, this particular cable is a silver copper alloy. And compared to, for instance, when you were mentioning the gold tends to sound a little too warm for my taste.
Okay.
But the silver brings up a little more high and a little more bass. And I'll tell you, we started selling it to bass players like $300 for a 10-foot cable, because the bass players really responded. They could hear it immediately. They could feel it. There's a response time because the frequencies were going through, transmitting through the silver faster than what they were used to. Anyway, so there you go. There's my cable stories.
So, and it's for real. I usually like watch the fights online, the scientists versus the real. But I've been lucky because in Edmonton, and there's a fellow I've been buying my record equipment, or the audio visual equipment. for 43 years. It's the very first time I worked with him. And he still has a bricks and mortar shop. And he lets me bring whatever I want, doesn't matter if he carries it or not, to my house, and I can play it side by side for days. And so I had the ability, and same thing, I have silver cables. I tried it all from Audio Quest all the way up. And I see a difference. Even with Carol and my daughter, and I do blind tests all day, like with, they have no idea what I'm switching to. And I did a preamplifier. It probably took me 2 weeks of listening every day. I was using your songs because they're my test songs, right? And Jenna's got a couple of fabulous songs as well. And so I know exactly what they sound at every second of play, what hits high, and then I will play the next preamplifier and do it. And then I'll have a friend that understands music and he'll listen without knowing it. And then my daughter and my wife, and then kind of get all these opinions and see if they match with mine. So that's how I do it, is I always listen first, right? And I get my ears tested to make sure, as I'm getting older, they're not crappy ears. You think it sounds good, right? So I have a friend of mine is ear, nose, and throat. So I constantly get him to test my ears to make sure it's not going down, or I'll stop buying equipment, kind of thing. So,
Well, you're saying all the things that make me happy. I mean, it's you have to really know a record, and it's not easy to listen to that degree. I think that's part of the problem, is there's a certain impatience that some of the audiophiles in those groups have. And they're not willing to really learn how to listen for differences, because I think there's a certain level of intimidation they might feel, like either they have to buy something so they don't want to hear the difference.
yeah.
Or, if, or they're afraid they can't. But really, it's more that they haven't been taught how to hear the difference. And then once they hear
that would be a great session to have at an audiophile, is how to hear the difference, because the people that are there are people like Rob that kind of know, but to bring in younger people, because there's a certain demographic that I've noticed at the shows, but to bring in younger people, because they don't know, like Stacy Baird just asked something interesting. Can we talk phono cartridges, 30 years of being reunited with vinyl, having my Thorn TD 166 turntable. I'm like, what?
There's a Thorn, she's got
What?
good stuff.
But I want to learn that stuff.
Yeah.
And to maybe have a basic listening. How do you listen? How do you become an audiophile? They're on my show. They don't know what we're talking about. They're like, what? I like Jenna. I have a CD player. I have a cassette player in my car. And when I'm at these shows, people are coming up to me going, what did you eat before you sang? How did you stand when Cookie put the microphone here, and does she do this, and is she using these cables? And I'm like deer in headlights. But I would like to learn if there was a way of understanding on a different level, because Rob is there. Like, Rob is one of your biggest fans, and that's why.
Well, we used to, Jenna, remember when Sony first came out with the AR1 speakers, they invited us to every audiophile convention there was. That was heaven. And in fact, it was maybe even around the time we released Blue Coast Collection 2, which Mutineer was on. And Mutineer became a favorite, and we would do those listening tests, and we'd show people how to listen, and we'd do the comparison tests, and at least 50% or more of the room could hear the difference in the formats. So we were just comparing formats. Cables is a little harder because there's a lot of setup involved.
It might even be a good idea to go to different types of conferences.
Yeah.
To teach people about this other way of listening.
Yeah,
Because it's a different way of listening and hearing.
Yeah. So, and you have to be careful not to cross the line, because they'll say an audiophile listens to sound where a music lover listens to music. So I'm careful too that there's a lot of music that I love that's never going to sound good because the master tapes maybe not have been as great, or most of them are deteriorated and gone, so that they're maybe taking the CD to produce the vinyl records or whatever. But for me, it's the love of the music. Like, if I can make it live, was close to live. And for that, I like DSD, one of the formats that Cookie was talking about. And I think it's an important one because everything is there. There's nothing missing. Yeah. And if you have a system that can play it and play it well, it's fabulous. And I'll bring people in. And I think, Cookie, you have a great system. I think you said on one of the forums you have Flowers and Wilkins, I think, as well, right, as speakers, B&W. For your home?
I don't have those.
I thought for some reason you had B&W, but maybe it was 802s or something. But
what do I have? I have so many speakers. I have the AR1s.
Okay, nice.
Sony. Got some tannoys called Little Reds.
Yeah.
A lot of speakers from NHT. I have little cubes. The Oratones. I've got Myers from way back in the day when I was mostly doing studio work. And then I have a lot of Jean-Marie Renault speakers, off-runs down in the studio, and I've got a surround system. And then in my living room is Orpheos.
Wow.
So I have speakers. I had to say no more speakers.
What speakers are these?
It gets a little crazy. But Rob, you said something really interesting. And I think, Jenna, I don't know that you really want to learn this stuff.
Well,
I would hate for it to get in the way of you being a musician. I mean, one of the things we're trying to cross the barrier of is going from the audiophiles to your fans. How do we reach your fans or the general public who doesn't know about this stuff, but somehow gets the sense that we're doing something different?
Because it is, I mean, Rob gets it. It's a whole other world, you guys, but.
Yeah, when I bring my daughters and their friends to come and visit, it hasn't been a great year because of COVID, they are speechless when they hear a song being played on the system. They're just, they stop and they're like, "You're kidding," because they've been listening to it on iPods and people whatever.
But people listen to their music here on their phone.
Yeah. But listen to Jenna. Like, if Jenna could be here, you probably, if you were in my house listening to you play on some of the Blue Coast recordings, you'd be going, "Wow, that's pretty good." Like, because it's stupendous. Like, it comes out and if its sound stage is corrected. So when I'm listening and with the equipment that it's going through, and again, not everybody will buy or want to spend what I do on stereo, which shall ever be nameless because my wife is listening in the other room.
Hi, Carol.
There's just cheap speakers. But you're actually, if I'm listening, you're standing in the middle of the room, like as if you were live. I can hear Rolf on one side. If he's on this side of you, I can hear him. It's just incredible. It's just, you just sit back and you feel that you're doing a live concert, right? As close to be, and Diana Krall, if she's playing, I'm more your stuff. I can hear her if her lips got stuck before she could open her mouth to say.
Dude, you can hear me gurgle.
Yes, I can.
I can play something for you right now where you hear right as I'm open, right before John R is playing this beautiful thing, and all of a sudden you hear, and I'm like, "Cookie, you have to take that out." She goes, "What?" I go, "Listen, turn it up." You hear, in my throat. No, I don't want that in my song. I'm sorry. If people can do auto-tune, I can take a out of my throat. My nose. If you turn on Meant to Be, Rob, on the very last song, I've told this story before and I'll tell it really quick. after we recorded Meant to Be, I'm listening to it in a house cranked, and we hadn't mixed it yet. And I call Cookie, I go, Cookie, Cookie, there's this whistling sound. And it's Matt, James Genus, and myself, just the three of us playing. Hope that I don't fall in love with you, 'cause falling in love makes me blue. And there's this. Do you know this story, Rob?
I remember.
Not to mention on Dirty Work, I hear this squeak, squeak, squeak. It was the drummer's pedal squeaking.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Squeak, squeak, squeak. It's kind of cool because it adds to the vibe, right? But there's this Cookie, Cookie, you have to go. So she goes, I'll go get in the car. She drives in the car, gets in her Miata, drives down to Half Moon Bay, comes back. She goes, okay, I'm going to solo. She goes into the studio. She pulls everything down, brings up Matt. No, Matt. What does Matt do sometimes on some of my recordings, Cookie?
He hums.
He hums. He practically sings along. Yes.
He what? Yeah.
So there's this.
Oh, good God.
It's got to be James. So she goes in, she solos James. James hums too. James like, does his thing.
I definitely, I'm going to go back and re-listen to it and isolate that sound. It's cool. I can hear. That's a great thing. But
well, you know what it was, Rob?
What?
I keep wanting to call you Rolf all of a sudden. Do you know what it was? Go ahead, Cookie. Tell him what it was.
It was Jenna's nose.
Oh, your nose was really whistling that did that?
Yeah. That's how precise Cookie is with the mics, with the placement. She could hear the breathing of my nose, or the whistling, as my EMT would say.
I'll use that as...
You gotta get it out. She goes, I can't. It's your nose. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I'll listen to it it'll be my new test track, depending how clear I can hear the whistling. Tell me how good the equipment is.
Yeah, we'll bring it over to the audio files and say, hey, if you can't hear the whistling in her nose, give it up.
But then John R. and you hear this, I sound like Tyrannosaurus Rex or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right at the beginning of the song.
See, like for Cookie, to take your emotion in the voice and then her skill sets when it comes to recording the song.
I know.
Like Keep Me in Your Heart, and I love Warren Zevon, and I remember when he did that when he had cancer, so it kind of aligns with what in your world. But when it
I'm
plays,
on the cancer tour right now. Cancer tour 2021.
For you. But
no,
but when people hear when a 25-year-old daughter of mine tears up and is ready, is crying, and Carol tears up, just for you to bring that emotion out, especially the family in the video was incredible. But
David Westby.
Yeah, but so well done. That's what I'm trying to bring back somehow, some way into Friends. So Steph now listens to all genre of music. She listens to stuff from the 70s, 80s, 90s. She listens to your stuff. She's not pigeonholed where many of her friends are starting to listen to what she has. So what's old is new, kind of like the styles are coming back, and it's not all K-pop and or these small little Apple Music type. I shouldn't say Apple, but one of their programs that produces albums in seconds and then punches it out. It's the masters will come back, right? And it's coming back, I think. So but you can't get that emotion on an MP3 or a real compressed song. So even Apple and in Cookie, Apple's the latest one to the game with high resolution, right? They're saying that they're going to have lossless coming out now and CD equivalent, let's say. But for them to come back to the market and say they're going to make all their music, higher resolution, kind of states that that's where this industry is moving to. The streaming part sucks.
Pioneer right there, Rob.
Yeah.
Cookie
And
Marenco.
and for sure, like I that's what I hated. Like I listened to I'm a Title because Cobas and a few others aren't available in Canada. So I listened to Title because of the higher resolution. There's an MQA thing that they have that's as crazy as cable sometimes when you try to go through it. But I hate the fact that I calculated that if I played Jenna Mammina 24 hours a day and clicked one of your songs every minute for 7 days straight, I think it was like $20,
No, it was more
$15.
like 3
Yeah, it might have been 3, but and I was looking
or
at it, and
six
it
ninety
depends what
nine, something like that.
yeah, it depends what the formula is, but that's 24 hours a day, 7 days straight, clicking a song every minute, listening to it. That's what set me on. Like I've got to find some of the artists and buy their music or
That's
do
why
something.
my Patreon page is so important, Rob. And thank you very much. I will just say, if I may, do you mind?
Oh, absolutely.
Rob gives $111.11 every month on my Patreon page.
Thank you.
And that's like 1,000 Canadian, so that's pretty good. I'm just kidding.
Don Ganoza, another one. Patty Loman. But had Rob not heard me on, had Cookie, if you weren't doing this, I wouldn't know these people.
Wow.
Not a chance. Like I only, like I say, I looked at all her music because again, it's the standard. Plus, she records it the way it's supposed to be recorded. I don't want to hear 30 versions of perfection, flawless, right? Not saying that you're not when you sing, but she makes it feel real, like this is you're there singing. Yeah, the whistling of the nose is there. No,
Yeah.
it was like I said the story before with Neil Young as a Canadian. I get a kick out of him, but they did the USA for Africa equivalent in Canada. It's called Tears Are Not Enough. So they got all the Canadian artists in, and Dave Foster is Canadian. So he was doing his thing, and he's about perfection. Like he's kind of a little bit off there. And so he had a part for Neil Young. He says, "Okay, Neil, you need to sing this." And they showed this on this how they made it. Neil's on the stage, sings his part, and Dave says, "Okay, this time we're going to do this." And he's like, "Oh man, I do this once."
Okay.
And he says, "That's it." And he walked off the stage. And that was it. He says, "I do this once, man. That's all." So,
Yeah.
but,
Rob, I
so,
wanted to thank you for passing your love of music and listening on to your daughters, because it was my father that passed it on to me also. And I mean, sometimes he probably regrets it, but he was the one that, when I was growing up, we'd all take out instruments and sit around the stereo and play. And at the time, stereo had just come out. There was the ping pong game, and I remember, what was that? Yeah, the right, left. And so he was showing me about that, and he had his stereo, and with there were reverb knobs. He was teaching me all these things. He bought me a tape recorder from Sears when I was 10.
wow.
And I think he did it for himself, but I was the oldest one, so I would benefited from it.
Oh,
I just wanted to thank you for passing that on to your daughters.
oh, never, no issues. I've done it to many. It's like I've got this mission when they come in, we're heading to the music, and I'll bring them through a whole genre that they've never heard. Even Carol, my wife, is fabulous, right? Her music is, they tend to be softer music, it's definitely from current to old. But so every once in a while, on her playlist, I'll tell Alexa, add Iron Man from Ozzy Osbourne or something. I keep putting these things, and boy, she gets really mad at me. But
she listens to music while she's painting
all the time.
Cookie, have you seen Carol's paintings at all?
I think the other day I didn't realize she was a painter, and I think I just Saw something.
Rob, can you walk into two things, Rob? Can you show Cookie your system?
I can. I'm going to have to switch because I have you on a whatchamacallit, an HP Pavilion, which is the big monitor, so that I wouldn't be doing this for 1 hour. But I can switch to this if it
Do
makes
you
a
mind
difference.
just so she sees what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, compared to her audio equipment, I'm like, like, here's Cookie, and
Oh.
here's me dropping. So, like,
No.
she's the one. Yeah, yes.
I listen to YouTube.
Oh, you know what I do too? If I'm on everything listening, but if I want to sit down and listen to the good stuff, then I'm downstairs. But yeah, no problem. But I'll need to click off and then come back on. But is there enough time? Like, I'm not sure where you're at.
Cookie, are you okay with time?
Yeah, I might turn this light down. It's getting kind of bright in here.
Yeah, that's why I have my blue blockers on. So if you don't mind, I would love for that to happen. And I'm going to post the video, Keep Me in Your Heart for a While, Jenna Mammina, right here, and see what happens. Does that come up? Okay. Matt Rawlings, Jenna Mammina, Keep Me in Your Heart for a While. I'm going to post that on this. Wait.
Hey, can you share your screen and play it? Play a little bit of it?
Probably. Can I? Let's see. I've never done that. But I'm going to post it. Does that work? Okay. Share my screen. I don't know if I can share it, but I can play it. I can look it up.
Okay.
Because I
I'm
haven't.
gonna go off for just a second.
Oh, how would I share that?
Oh, down below that says share screen.
I will be right back.
But how would I share my desktop, my whiteboard?
Yeah, if you can play it off of YouTube on your computer, you can share your screen and it would show the YouTube video.
So if I open up this other screen and I go, I'm going to learn something maybe. Okay. So if I go like that. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Really?
But you know what? It's the wrong video.
Oh, darn it. Wait. Did I do it though?
Yeah, you did. You shared the screen. It was the wasn't the David's video, but you're close.
How do I?
Here it is. Yeah.
Is it this one? Oh, okay.
That one. There you go. Yeah.
Shadows are falling and I'm running out of breath. Keep me in your heart for a while. If I leave you, it doesn't mean I love you any less. Keep me in your heart for a while.
He asked me to send him some photos and then he put it together.
When you get up in the morning and you see
That's my
This is
dad.
the one I just start crying.
keep me in your heart for a while.
Grace.
There's a train leaving nightly called when all is said and done. Keep me in your heart for a while.
That's my brother, Mitch, and his daughter Ray and son Cam.
Keep me in your heart.
That's my sister Lisa and her wife Katie, my sisters. And that's my family. My sister Lisa, my brother Mitch, Nino, my dad, my mom. Dad.
when you're doing simple things around.
That was shot by Tucker.
Maybe you'll think of me and smile. You know I'm tied to you like the buttons
Andre
on your
and Nino.
blouse. Keep me in your heart for a while. Hold me in your thoughts. Take me to your dreams. Touch me as I fall into
Rob.
you. When the winter comes,
Charms.
keep the fires lit, and I will be right next to you.
My waffles.
Engine
My sister
drivers
Lisa on my
headed north,
where my mom grew up in Mays,
Street.
New Mexico.
Keep me in your heart for
In
a
Chica.
while.
Chica.
These wheels keep on turning, but they're running out of steam.
That's in Washington.
Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha la 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 la. Keep me in your heart. Sha la 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 la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Keep me in your heart for a while.
Blue Coast Records.
Yeah, good job.
I can't see because now I'm crying. How do I get you big again? I don't know how to do this back now. Oh well, doesn't matter. There's Rob. You guys can still see it. No, but now how do I get off of my screen?
Let's see. You should have,
You are screen sharing. Stop
Yeah.
share.
right. There you go.
Boom! I never did that before. 11:11 with Jenna.
Oh, here's Rob.
Hey Rob.
Yes, I'm back. I just noticed I have it's an iPhone that said 10% power, so I didn't remember to charge this guy up. So if it dies, it wasn't that I'm crazy here. So what? I've got 4 screens. Okay. Hey Carol, can you actually? I'll shut it off. Probably
It's
don't.
fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It makes it look like there are more people here.
Yeah, you can see my Seinfeld poster, right? All right, I'll take you to the
Hey, thank you,
photos.
Carol. If you're crying, then I'm doing the right thing. Then Cookie and I made it work.
Yeah, so, yeah, she loved it. So let me get my phone. I can't remember if it's wide angle that you need.
Horizontal.
Does that help?
Yes.
So
Cookie,
this is
Carol
really,
painted that.
Wow.
Paint.
Wow.
yeah.
That makes me cry, Carol. Uh-oh. Carol, your paintings make me cry. So there you go.
That's amazing. Wow.
The
Yeah,
beautiful hair
like I
is
say.
red.
And then I'll go quickly before, in case this thing dies. That's another one that she has. Some beautiful kids. Again, oil paintings. And like Jen always says, she does good material and strings and things for stuff. And yes, Zoe, she follows me around helping out. So, and another one that she did. Don't mean to.
Jeez.
So that's one. Again, all of these are from Nepal children, basically. So,
Wow.
and yeah, it's always like Carol does a great job at cloth and stuff like that. So she mirrors the masters, from hundreds of years ago in Europe, how they had that kind of a feel and texture. So even though they're oil paintings, if you were, to touch it, it would be smooth as silk. There's no bumps or ridges, because she'll put layer after layer after layer after layer of oils, very thin, to get the feel of the painting. So, but yeah, it's pretty unique. So, and then, sorry for the puke things. We have a big thunderstorm going on outside right now. So, but, and that's one that she's done. This one is a girl from, I'm trying to remember if it's Thailand, that a nurse friend of hers had given her a photograph. So Carol did this painting of her, calls it the Red Satchel, because of the little satchel she had. But same thing with the cloths and stuff like that. They're so, an iPhone doesn't do it justice compared to in person. It just feels super, super, super realistic in feeling. So, yeah, that's her skill set. Born with it, not like me. And then I'll take you to our place. I'd be outside right now with sunny and still blue skies at 10:30, but
longest 10:30 at night.
Yeah, and longest night of the year is, I think, this Sunday. But it's a thunderstorm out there, and all the stuff is as dark as can be. My hockey, for people that are hockey fans, which are none on this on this broadcast. So actually, I've got to get one piece. Sorry for the dizzy fest here.
Now I'm getting sick. That's cool.
Back up the stairs.
Fun.
My little
perfect
dog follows me and waits for me. This is my iPad, but guess what was in my my thing this morning waiting for me? One of the albums from, of course, the one you just released. So
you could download that album today, right, Cookie? You could download the whole record today.
You can download or stream.
This is Tidal, so it's streamed. It just ended up in there, but I'm going to download it off your site, Cookie. So yeah, these are the speakers for light. So I think I've told everybody before, it's a rosewood, and this is from a forest in Madagascar, the last forest that was being wiped out, for people that wanted speakers. So I said, yeah, give me that wood that's never going to be on Earth again. No, I'm just kidding. It's this rosewood from a sustainable forest. So Italian design speakers. So, and basically I'm using Parasound. So John Curl amplifiers. I've always liked the sound of it. John Curl preamp. And this is the Sony Hapsies that played DSP. So that's how I got introduced to DSP, going back probably 8 years ago. The first time I started listening to it is because the Sony system played it. It's not a server, so it just kind of stores the music and you can play it, and it's got about 1 terabyte. So there's a fair bit of songs on there. But I used Lumen for the digital analog converter. I have a variety of power conditioners as well. And then, of course, the Parasound preamp. So this is pure analog. There's nothing in there that's digital. And that's what I loved about it. And it's new by Parasound, relatively new, this version, but completely 100% analog. So, and then a variety. I've got other DACs and nodes and thises and that's, and a few things for records. And then I love my Parasound amplifier. So it puts out volume. When I was younger, I would have every window rattling in the house. It didn't, I'd be happy if I could hear it 2 blocks away, but it is what it is. Now I'm just like wanting to hear it nicely. So for your friend with vinyl, she has a much better turntable than me. I'm just Audio Technica, and it's basically just to pacify the vinyl side, because the little, even the tiniest dust that gets on and goes click, some people will love that. I'm like, oh, so I don't play vinyl very often because the digital is incredibly, crisp compared to that, right? Is realistic. So, and then I have it set up exactly to where I need. I may change some things, but that's it. So there's the view of the system that I use. So doesn't seem much, and of course compared to
compared to Cookie, but I did add this in, which my audiophile guys wouldn't be happy, but that's a Martin Logan. So that thing has just under 2,000 watts. It's a 15-inch subwoofer that's sealed, but I'm surprised how much it adds to the music just subtly. I don't put it on so that it cracks drywall or stuff like that, but it's just crazy. So, but it's the way of the world. Yeah, and it's for people who aren't familiar with streaming. Don't get too familiar. Buy the music first, and then stream when you're lazy, like me. You don't want to get off the couch.
250 different options for streaming this record tonight. That's like, I got chills, Cookie.
That's crazy. So, and in 3 seconds, literally all your songs are there. So if I was to play, yeah, let me, I love Inner Smile, but let's play, or however you see. Let me just make sure that I don't explode my ears and my wife's ears. I'm not sure my volume's at.
Can your dog handle listening to the music downstairs?
I have double sheet rock here, and it's insulated, the walls, and the tiles are acoustic, so it helps block it. So it takes a lot, but I probably left the door open, so she'll come running down here with her toy. She loves doing that. So it's not very loud right now. It's very, very easy listening. So I'll never play it with loud music with her down here, and I don't play it very loud very often. But yeah, the world of streaming. It's I call it lazy bones, like for me, because it's just basically I can go from one genre to the next, and in seconds I'm playing whatever. Yeah, see, and you can't hear it very well on an iPhone, but it sounds like you're sitting. It's designed for you where that little anti-static mat is. That would be you and a microphone right there, and the instruments come from all over the place, right? So it's great. Wintertime, -40. What am I going to do? I'm down here listening to music, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where that's at. Well, I don't want to hold you up time. I know you've got
This is cool.
but yeah, that's kind of
Thank you, Rob.
oh, no problem at all. So yeah, I could be here for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours just listening to all types of music, right? So for the moods, I don't know what it is, but I've always been a passionate lover of songs and stuff. And it's not, there's a part when people will listen to music to remember things, right? Which is important. They'll hear a song, they'll go, wow, that's when I first met this person and that. So there's that I like. And then there's the performance aspect, the beautiful recordings, which I tend to favor too. So, but anyway, but yeah. And you're part of that. For 10 years, or however long I've been picking off Blue Coast Records, you've been in this house playing music, and that's how it is with the power that you have, right? So
thank you, Cookie Marenco.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
there you go.
It's magic.
And all for just a couple $100, right, Carol, upstairs? She has no idea. She
Well,
goes,
when I
what's
found
that?
out how much her paints cost and how much her paint brushes are,
That's it.
you guys are all okay. My friend Patty just said, I just want to play a record or a CD. This is way over what I can handle. God bless those who know what to do. It's Patty, it's a whole other world. It's a whole other conversation. But what it comes down to is like what Cookie said. If it makes her cry, she knows she's got it. And
Yeah.
I know when we did that song and others, I've cried while I'm singing.
Yeah,
Those are-
it's
Yeah. Those are the tapes.
yeah. She does a wonderful job. I gravitated to your music because, you know, you're not winging it, and you're not like, you know, it's not, I don't want to put down anything from Nashville, but sometimes I think it's like a studio where there's professional musicians. They sit around a table. How are we going to make this song? Okay, what are we going to do? What should we write? And then before you know it, by 5 o'clock, they're producing the record. But yours is pure emotion, and that's what Cookie is able to do. Even with her other artists, you get to feel this. It's all real. So yeah, if anybody's on here that hasn't, go to Blue Coast Records, and they're easy. It's simple for a download, and it's forever. And you can play it from your computer. There's a million ways to do it, so it's very easy.
Thank you.
And to watch her hands. Rob, you'll just have to come when we make a record. You have to be there at the studio.
Her hands.
Carol.
Oh, like
Her
moving all
hands,
the things.
her ears, her person. When we work with Derek, when we make records with Derek, working with John, working with Alex, she's it. Cookie Marenco.
Yep. The Legends episode tonight, right here, right now. So
What about the times I've kicked people out, Jenna?
Oh yes, go ahead. No, I still love it when you went like this to James Genus. That note right there. That chord. He's a 6'2" big beautiful man playing his bass, and he's playing this and she goes, that right there. Just play that.
Yeah, I think I've made drummers put one arm behind their back. I did that to John R. at your session.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
on Abbey Lincoln.
Yep, that was the one.
John, can you just play with one? He's like, what? Just do right. Can you just play right? Yeah. Okay.
One hand.
I've had drummers not play with sticks. Can you just do this and not what? Okay.
you'll have to have tours. I think you guys, this is what I would think be the day in the life of Jenna and Cookie as a music guy in the background. You get up at noon. About 1 o'clock, you're thinking, okay, what are we going to do? You start at 7 o'clock, and at 4 in the morning, you're leaving from the studio. That's what I keep thinking.
You
No?
just keep thinking that way, Rob.
Yeah.
You just keep thinking that way.
I've been woken up at I used to live in a home with a recording studio at Live Oak in Berkeley, and the engineer knew I was upstairs and they needed a background part, and he woke me up in the middle of the night to play on Tim Ware's Cafe Apocalypso, and I did a background part at 4 in the morning. I thought that was it. I was going to be a rock star.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, we do. We roll in, and then we work on albums for months at a time. We play the song over and over and over, and record it 72 times.
Good Lord.
It's yeah. I make those records for other people. I don't make those records for Blue Coast. For Blue Coast, I get the musicians who I find at those sessions where you're going on for 300 hours for each session, and they take years to finish. But then I find some great musicians and I invite them in, and we can knock out an album in a day or 2 days by just playing, putting the right people together. And that's what I found that I liked in the studio, was having done it so much the other way with the overdubs and the headphones and all the people coming over and nobody being really happy about the outcome. One of the most common things you hear in the studio is, "Gee, I play it so much better in performance." Well, let's try to create that environment. Let's try to make a performance out of this.
That experience you have, like microphone, I'd like to just come and see what microphones you have and how you position them and where you put them. That's all like the magic of understanding, the sound, and your rooms are probably perfect or all. It's just crazy to see that. So,
you know what? I'll make a record in a hotel room if I get a great take. And if I got to deal with an air conditioner, but the take was beautiful, or somebody's cell phone goes off, I've used those takes. It becomes part of the story of that song.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny.
On those recordings.
Yes. Yeah, or if somebody's nose is making noise, that was part of the day. But yeah.
Well, we're making a new record, Cook.
Yeah, let's make another record.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, me too.
But first, Mutineer. Check it
First
out.
Mutineer,
No.
then we'll go have some fun.
All right.
Thank
Rob,
you, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. I'll sign off so you guys can finish. Well, the guy who only listens to music can't create it. I'll
We
continue
need
listening.
you.
Yeah,
We
Yes.
need
absolutely.
you. We need
do
all
this
of
for
you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Carol.
Yeah. Take care.
What do you think? Should we just down the rest of it? One last.
Oh, I was going to do the tequila.
Oh, okay.
All
That's
right.
right. Get the tequila in there.
I don't know. My blueberries are pretty potent, I would say. Tres agaves, right here on 11:11 with Jenna. Congratulations, Blue Coast Records, Cookie Marenco.
Here's to us, Jenna. Boom.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jenna. You're doing a great job. Let's do more recording.
All right.
Okay.
Deal. Talk to you tomorrow.
I can't.
You can't.
I
See?
need a digital op.
All right. Oh, Eddie Dixon, you need to come to Blue Coast. Cookie, check out Eddie Dixon. Cookie, really.
All right.
Oh, speaking of tomorrow, I can't either. I have a gig, 3 p.m. Pelts Productions. It's a pop-up porch concert. Bye, Rob.
My second screen goes down. See you guys.
3 p.m. I will be here live, and I will be on Facebook, but I will also be at the porch, 5320 Shafter in Oakland, California. If you feel like cruising on up. I know you can't.
Oh, me? You're talking to me?
Yeah, you and anybody else.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember how to drive.
You mean you have to walk outside out of your... I love this. I love that we get to do this.
Yeah. This
Thank
is
you.
so smart. This is just a great idea. I can't. Wow, Jenna. I'm really, I guess the word is proud. I mean, you're doing this twice a day for more than a year. It's amazing. The dedication, the consistency, what you're doing, giving people a place and a space to talk and chat and all the different things that you're doing. It's really great.
Thank you.
And you seem to enjoy it too.
I love it. And it's my practice, and it's part of my life, and it will be for however long people are here. I'll be here.
Yeah.
We're a community. We're a family. And I love that Eddie just came on, just got out of a gig. He's in Mississippi enjoying pre-tropical storm rain. Nice. But yeah, it's, people go, someone said to me a couple of days ago, I don't even brush my teeth twice a day. How do you do this twice a day? And I go, well, I used to do 3 to 4 hours of yoga every day. This is my practice, and it gives me and Mama Grace and a few other people somewhere to be.
Yeah.
So
It's
thank you
wonderful.
for being a part of it. And then thank you for getting my music out there. And
Well, more to come.
all right. Have a
All right.
beautiful night, Cookie.
You too.
Blue Coast Records, everybody check it out.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
Marenco, everyone. Wow. You do goat yoga? Yeah, I do goat. I've done goat. When I lived in Mexico, there were 3 little goats right around my head, and I would do yoga, and they would be all over. And then Lillian came around, and it was just all about Lillian Pearl. and that's all good. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Mama Grace. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Rob and Carol and William and Carl and Michael and everybody else that's checking out the show tonight. Please share this show. It was like kind of like April of 2020. You know, we started at 11:11 and it's 12:46. Started 8:11 and it's 9:46. Old school. And last night's Corona Roki, still. I thought about it today and it made me smile. And I was with Ellen Hoffman and she'll be back. You'll be back. Cookie, come back soon. Huge hug, everybody. I have to eat dinner. Let's do it. Let's do it, Eddie. And Eddie, please come back. Hey, Eddie, do you have a gig Sunday night? If you don't, would you consider being my artist for musicians square table this Sunday at 11:11? Putting you on the spot, Eddie Dixon. Thank you, Mama Grace. I love you. I'm going to sit here and wait for your answer. Eddie, 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 Eddie. While we're waiting, thank you, Rob Morocco. Cookie, 20 years plus. Eddie Dixon. So tomorrow morning, Jeff Metzger. Tomorrow night, Gary Lambert. Sunday morning, we'll be chilling. Sunday night, Eddie Dixon, right here on Musicians Square Table. Monday morning, we meander. He's down, everybody. Have a great night. Stay safe, stay healthy, be nice. Musical thoughts, musical words, and a musical heart. Lots of love, everyone. You know what we do. Thank you. I'm blown away. And now I get to go dance and eat dinner. Blue Coast Records. The record is called Mutineer. Check it out tonight. Love hard.